Now, once you get the passage itself interpreted or made into a form you can understand, right? Mm-hmm. 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 So, you might want to use a different book in Hebrew to try and interpret it again. So, again, Ha'anoki. And this time you want to do it the individual word. All right. So, all right, it might be a ka instead of a hey. Right. Cobb, re, the, or ray, they. I'm not sure. Right. Is the second word. Then eighth, the third. Then ball, Then the mar ball okay. Sorry. Uh, um, mm, Huzzah. Or in. Anoki. Ow. No. Key. That's I. Ya. La. The. T. Who. Next is key. Then tha. Or TH. ANAR. Ali. Or Ollie. Or Ollie. saw, sa'ahu, which could be why father was used. Ba, sar, oops, that's the wrong word. I went too far down. Okay. Now, another thing you got to be sure of is you don't. Go too far down to another word, right? Okay. Well, it's like V. T. CH. Or KH, right? Y. P. K. All right, then. Ka. Sure. Ye saw. Ha. Amen. Eighth. again. Ha, ye, na, ka, all. Ha, ah, odd, ma, Asher, all right. All right. Va, Sha, Shin, Ba, or Va. Eight, Lee, Abba, Abaf, Who, Tha, Who. So, now I've got the single words out. And that's again to see what's really being said, right? Now, Moses is asking God, did I conceive all this people? Did I bear them, that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as a nurse carries an infant to the land that you have promised on oath to their fathers? So, you need to write that out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now Moses also seems what, a little selfish here. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. So, these are the words individually written out. Mm-hmm. And like I said, right? Mm-hmm. That's just the start trying to interpret it correctly, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is what you got to do, though. Mm-hmm. If King James says one thing and something else says something else, right? Someone's adding something or taking away something from the sentence there, right? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that at least during the middle mm, ages, I guess, right? Because from 500 AD to 1500 AD, right? The Bible was largely kept in print by monks at a monastery, right? The Gnostic Gospels was almost wiped out by the Orthodox and Constantine and Roman soldiers on their side, right? Not listening to the Orthodox side either, right? Now here, Moses is talking kind of as both a mother and father, though, if you understand the wording, right? He's not just saying, have I conceived these people, but have I bore them as well, right? That's a motherly role. Right? So, it's going deep, I know, right? But he's also complaining to God about having to do it. But there again, that's because he's trying to get them to go into the land and be ready, and they're not wanting to be ready, right? And this is probably also around the same time the spies went into the land again, and only 2 had a good report of the 12, right? So 10 did not have as good a report as the other 2. Mm-hmm. Now, the tribulation period is a tribulation period because we all can do wrong or right or even determine what that is for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And with some people, it's different, and with some people, it's the same, right? Problem. Mm-hmm. Now, again, though, the concordance I have is based on the King James Version, right? Now, this version, though, and the NIV version read similarly as well. So, did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms, right? As a nurse carries an infant to the land you promised on oath to their fathers, ancestors, right? Well, it's not exactly not father, is it, right? It's La, Li, Ab, which is father, Ath, Ahu, or Ba, Fa, Hu, right? Not sure how you do that. So, Li, Abba, Fa, Hu, is that ancestors, right? Because it's masculine and feminine. Tha, Hu, right? Right. So King James there says fathers, right? As does this version, right? Right. So they're kind of agreeing to disagree in a way too, right? But like I said, if you want to know the truth for yourself, what do you have to do? Figure out why it's similar and why it's different. Right? Now, Sa'ahu could be, again, a reference to a masculine figure, right? And again, right? Kasher, right? Yiso Sa. Haman is, again, where the nurse, right? Eth. Hayan Paul. And again, you got to figure out which word fits and why, and again, who's saying what. If you really care, right, or don't care, right, which ain't from God to not care. Who taught us the knowledge of good and evil and evil? Right. Satan. That's who. Because we're tribulating each other and we're neighbors, right? We're affecting one another, right? Every day, right? That's like I can't even go for a walk and see my next door neighbor's girlfriend, right? Without her hiding from me like I'm not going for a walk as normal. Things like that make you wonder what your neighbors are up to. If they're friends with the next door neighbor, but you're single and they're not friends with you, they got a girlfriend. Right. Someone's not telling the truth there, are they? Now, I'm friends with my older neighbors, right? I don't expect anything more, though, right? From any neighbor, right? But the thing is, though, anyone can act the fool. And there's no reason to act weird around me and not say hi if you're a neighbor. Only thing you need to know is I'm a disabled veteran who developed schizophrenia in the military and fell 3 stories when being discharged, right? And was injured in my back and ankle, which doubly disables me, right? Not only do I have the mental issues developed on my ship and with some churches I was going out to at the time, right? But also I was physically injured as well. So I have two problems, not one, right? And I can barely walk sometimes down the street, right? For 30 minutes or so without sometimes pain happening, right? Now, all I'm doing is telling you that what I know happened is having this effect on me, right? I don't know what's actually wrong, right? Exactly. I don't have x-ray visions like Superman, right? To see my injury. I just know what area it hurts in, right? It's called the mid-lower back towards the butt, right? And that's called the sacrum area, right? It's a coccyx region, right? And the left ankle, which is a major weight-bearing joint, right? Whereas before I fell, I could do all kind of things. I could bike ride, I could run. I could walk anywhere, right? And probably a lot faster than I can walk now. I held down at least 1.5 jobs before I joined the Navy, right? Working at both Roger Wood and Crispy Chick, right? And again, I'm showing the Navy a good effort to get in, right? But when I got in, I ran into a blockade. My shipmates wouldn't train me, and acted like I was supposed to know everything by friggin' osmosis, I guess, right? Well, that didn't work for me, right? I couldn't pick up on what I was supposed to do without them showing me or teaching me, right? So I didn't know what to do. Now, I did pick on a difference in what I was taught in Georgia in Christian Fellowship Church, too. But it seemed like the pastor had an agenda there. That not only was he questioning the belief in the South, right? He was also trying to get certain brothers to join a unitship program in which they could touch each other and not marry, I guess, right? But that's not gay, he said. I bet. But yet you have the Catholic Church diddling young boys, and that ain't kosher either, right? I just read about that today, where they're settling some kind of child molestation thing, right? In the news thread this morning, right? For about $87 million, right? Well, damn. What's going on with the world today, right? And then I'm around a 4-year-old for less than 4 days with her mother and her staying in their bedroom, and you're trying to say something happened, right? Well, I don't recall, but let's go through what could have happened, right? I'm on the couch. They're in the bedroom together, right? The only thing that could have happened, right, is something I would have to make up, right? Because I'm on the couch and she's in there with her mother, right? So I'm not going to go towards their bedroom, right? And if I go to the bathroom, that's a straight line from the living room, right? Though if I don't go all night, right, and wake up the next morning, right, that's normal, right? That's what's supposed to happen. Now, I might stay up a little later sometimes on the weekend to watch a movie or something. And I'm sure me and my wife had cable TV or something, right? Though one of our TVs was struck by lightning, right? We had to get a second one, right? But again, that can happen. That can happen. Well, I might not have mentioned that before. But we tried to get some appliances from Sears, right? For the apartment and stuff like that. One of them was a TV, and the TV got struck by lightning, and because it was an act of God, right? It wasn't covered under the freaking warranty or something, right? That I also purchased and things like that. But again, right, that's for me and my wife to watch TV together in the living room until we go to bed after dinner, right? And again, we didn't have too much problems with the TV shows we watched, I guess, right? Because we lived together 4 months, right? And, like, even with Teresa, I had a TV in the living room which she could watch, right? And one in the bedroom which I could watch, right? But again, that's kind of the whole point there, though. So anyway, this shows you there's a lot of words there in the Hebrew to English, right? And a couple of them have who at the end, right? But it's also speaking male and female language as well. Not only conception is mentioned, but bearing them, right? Which is something only a woman can do, right? And he's asking God both ways. Which seems a little androgynous, right? Too, though he's using who, right? But the who also contains a T or a TH, right? Which is feminine plural. And before the who is that mother father, right? Like the Gnostics were talking about the mother father of Jesus, right? In heaven. See, God would have to play both roles to place an embryo in Mary's womb, right? If Jesus was conceived supernaturally, right? And not naturally. This means the same thing that formed the first two human beings, Adam and Eve, in Eden, right? Also formed Jesus in the womb of the Virgin Mary. And therefore, he's the true Son of God, right? And daughter of Goddess. Though, too, He, Yisrael, which is Elelhy. And then Elhinu, right, is our God. Right. But when it's used in the our sense of the word, it's not hey, but he. Now, he is she in the Hebrew. Who is he? And that's why they ask who's on first. Who is really he in the Hebrew? Now, whoever did that little skit, right? It also means he's on first, right? If you're Hebrew. When you say who's on first, you're saying he's on first, right? But he is also she, right? Or the feminine form in the Hebrew, right? So who is he and he is she? He is she. So he, she. All right. I also heard about this prisoner who is a transvestite who impregnated other prisoners. And this was on The Real yesterday. And it was Lonnie Love talking about it. Mm-hmm. How the she got women pregnant and had sex with them in prison when you're not allowed conjugal visits. But guess what? We're all in prison, Lonnie. Right? We all sinned with Satan and Eden. Right? So should we not have sex at all? If you're being punished for something you did wrong, right? And we did something wrong in Eden to get kicked out of it, right? Should we still be having sex at all? Should we be married and given in marriage ourselves? Especially if he got more than one woman pregnant. Ain't that I don't understand, right? But again, it's the transgendered issue, right? And what you gonna do about it, right? Obviously, right? The transgendered person still had the penis, right? But maybe boobs artificially made by saline solution in the bag. What they call it that, a boob job, right? And you joke that Christ had boobs, right? But the word used in the Greek is correctly interpreted as paps in the King James Version. And I showed you why there too, right? Which is all anyone can do, is explain it to you why. And that's called, this word for paps, right? Two is the same word. Used here. And it's describing someone who they believe is who? Jesus Christ himself. And he has breasts like a woman, right? And a girdle girt about them. So your male chest, right, wouldn't need a girdle with it. No. Then some say, well, the ephod, right, that the priest wore is why. I don't know. He wore a girdle there, right? But no. If you're both and you're in Israel, you have to wear a belt, right, during the day. If you have boobs big enough to be noticed by men. Right. If you weren't to wear the girdle. Another word for a girdle is belt. Right. But a belt is usually worn around the loins. Or the waist. Right. Not the chest area or breast area. So someone's mixing this up, right? Someone's not getting it. Someone's sealing the information, right? Or hiding it.